Destruction magic's fine.
You're interested,
Just don't go
traveler.
burning down any buildings.
Hello, and take a look. Perhaps I'll be seeing more of you.
As High Priest of the Eight Divines, I give you all...
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. A note from someone named Calselmo in Markarth. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Fresh fish.
I was a student at the Bard's College for a short time. Until my...
I'm a little busy at the moment. I've got all sorts of
I
errands.
haven't been back to Solitude since. Not as dumb as you look.
There are few places. So you wish to master the arcane arts? All right then.
Back, eh? I suppose it would be inappropriate of me to ask how you obtained this, so I simply won't. A rubbing, eh? Odd. I expected notes. I understand. Now, let me take a good look at this. Over here, please.
I'll sell just about anything if it's worth my time. Keep that in mind, will you? I heard you were at the wedding of the Emperor's cousin. What do you need, Bard?
Now here's a man I'm glad to see.
The mages don't let us go in the college.
If there's anything you need,
They said
here,
it's not safe in there.
take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. Until next time.
mages don't let us go in the college. They said it's not safe in there. Aster says his pa says the college
Highly
makes lots of
disturbing.
bad things happen.
It appears that Gallus had suspicions about Mercer Frey's allegiance to the Guild for months. Gallus had begun to uncover what he calls an unduly lavish lifestyle replete with spending vast amounts of gold on personal pleasures.
Does the journal say where this wealth came from?
Yes, Gallus seems certain that Mercer had been removing funds from the Guild's treasury without anyone's knowledge.
Anything else, Enthir? Anything about the Nightingales?
Yes, here it is. The last few pages seem to describe the failure of the Nightingales, although it doesn't go into great detail. Gallus also repeatedly mentions his strong belief that Mercer desecrated something known as the Twilight Sepulchre.
Shadows preserve us. So it's true.
I'm not familiar with the Twilight Sepulchre. What is it? What's Mercer Frey done?
I'm sorry, Enthir. I can't say. All that matters is we deliver your translation to the Guild immediately. Farewell, Enthir. Words can't express.
It's all right, Carlia. You don't have to say a word.
Hmm?
Listen, all I want is the truth to be revealed to the Guild. They respected Carlia, and she deserves better. Do whatever you can, and I'd consider it a personal favor. Listen, if trying to rid yourself of stolen goods becomes a burden and you find yourself in Winterhold, visit me at the college. I've been known to handle items of questionable interest from time to time, and I'll see what I can do. In the time before man, they were known as the Snow Elves. They lived in the sunlight and had a very prosperous society. Like the Altmer? Yes, I would say their culture quite possibly rivaled our own. The Nords went to war with the Falmer in the First Era, killed them by the thousands to drive them from their snowy homeland. The Falmer retreated underground and forged an uneasy alliance with the dwarves, who ended up betraying them. This betrayal made them what they are now, horrible, blind monstrosities with a burning hatred of any but their own kind. Yes, I suppose you're right. Forgive me. I've lost several close friends to the Falmer, and it tends to distort my view. If you wish to learn more about them, you're welcome to my tome on the subject. Should be on my table. He was a dear friend of mine, and a surprisingly astute pupil of academia. I was devastated when he was killed. I suppose that risk always coexisted with his line of work. I just never thought his luck would run out. Well, for the thrill, of course. He was quite clear that he felt more in his element climbing through a window rather than hunched over a dusty tome. Yes, quite an amusing anecdote, actually. I caught him trying to break into my laboratory. I was about to show him the error of his ways when he made a curiously astute comment about my research notes. I was astounded, and in turn it led to a conversation. Who would have imagined it would lead to such a strong friendship? Besides the fact that there are only a handful of people in Tamriel that even recognize the language, I'm fairly certain he was planning some sort of a heist that involved a deep understanding of the Falmer language. Sadly, we never had the opportunity to speak about the details. Ironically, I pointed him in the same direction I pointed you, to Markarth and Calselmo. I'm only hoping whatever means he used to learn the language will still be available to you. If you
We
have
must
further
hasten to
need of
Riften
me,
before
you can
Mercer can
find
do
me
any
in the
more damage to
college.
the Guild. You've come this far, so I see no harm in concealing it any longer. The Twilight Sepulchre is the temple to Nocturnal. It's what the Nightingales are sworn to protect with their lives. Everything that represents Nocturnal's influence is contained within the walls of the Sepulchre. Now it seems Mercer's broken his oath with Nocturnal and defiled the very thing he swore to protect. I felt the same way when Gallus first revealed these things to me. I think given time you'll understand what I mean. As a Nightingale, I've been sworn to secrecy regarding the Sepulchre. I know the Guild doesn't do much to foster faith, but I'm going to have to ask that you continue to trust me. I'll make for Riften and scout the situation. See if I can discover what Mercer's up to. When you're ready, meet me at the Ragged Flagon. In the meantime, I wanted you to have this. It belonged to Gallus, but given the circumstances, I think he'd approve. If the Guild isn't willing to listen to reason, you might have to.
I'm always on the lookout for all sorts of good. Bring me whatever you, well, find, and I'll see what I can do.
Just say the word if you need a drink or something to eat.
Shuskla. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them. Until next time.
What are you doing that for?
There's an apothecary in town, yeah, but it's down on the lower walkway, so stay sharp if you go down there.
I heard Riften's the worst Skyrim has to offer. I hope we don't run into any trouble while we're here.
I'm glad you're here. I think some of these people are beginning to suspect who I am. Are you ready to face the Guild? Keep your eyes open. I'm not sure what to expect when we enter the system.
Looks like you're fitting in well down here. I'm supposed to allow you to trade in one of your pieces of guild armor. So what will it be? All right then.
Vex is ready to tear you apart.
Cistern.
I
No
hope you have a good
tricks.
excuse for bringing Carlia here. You better have a damn good reason to be here with that murderer.
Please, lower your weapons so we can speak. I have proof that you've all been misled.
No tricks, Carlia, or I'll cut you down where you stand. Now what's this so-called proof that you speak of?
I have Gallus's journal. I think you'll find its contents disturbing.
Let me see. No, it can't be. This can't be true. I've known Mercer too long.
It's true, Brynjolf. Every word. Mercer's been stealing from the Guild for years, right under your noses.
There's only one way to find out if what the lass says is true. Delvin, I'll need you to open the vault.
Wait just a blessed moment, Bryn. What's in that book? What did it say?
It says Mercer's been stealing from our vault for years. Gallus was looking into it before he was murdered.
How can Mercer open up a vault that needs 2 keys? Is it possible? You think it's one in?
That door has the best puzzle locks money can buy. There's no way it can be picked open. We didn't need to pick it open.
What's she all about? Use your key on the vault, Delvin. We'll open it up and find out the truth.
I've used my key, but the vault's still locked up tighter than a drum. Now use yours.
Good to see you again, friend.
Right here. It's gone. Everything's gone. Get in here, all of you.
The gold, the jewels, it's all gone.
That son of a bitch. I'll kill him.
Vex, put it away, right now. We can't afford to lose our heads. We need to calm down and focus.
Do what he says, Vix. This ain't helping right now.
Fine. We do it your way. For now.
Delvin, Vex, watch the flagon. If you see Mercer, come tell me
the
right
worst
away.
Skyrim has to offer. I hope we don't run into any trouble.
If I see Frey, I'll pluck his eyes from his skull with my bare hands.
Pull up a seat. Have a drink.
Need to stay focused in case Frey comes. Unbelievable. You must be the first person to set eyes on all 24 of them in, well, the last 2 eras. When I told you the set had to be complete, I left out a small detail. I honestly didn't think you'd ever get this far. If the stones were remounted on the crown, it would be of great benefit to the Thieves' Guild. Not exactly. The crown is what the Guild calls a paragon, an object that enhances our thieving abilities. At least that's what I'm told it does. There hasn't been a paragon in this guild for hundreds of years. I have it on good authority that the crown is within Tolvald's cave, dropped by a Dunmer caravan leaving Morrowind long ago. If you could bring it back, we could restore the paragon, and reap its benefits. If we want to stay on top in Skyrim, the guild needs that paragon back. Without it, we're just a bunch of petty thieves. Keep to the shadows and you'll do fine.
Look, before I help you track Mercer down, I need to know what you learned from Carlia. I mean, everything. I feared that was the case. From that last entry in Gallus's diary, it looks like he was getting close to exposing Mercer to the Guild. Anything else? What? Nightingales? But I always assumed they were just a tale. A way to keep the young footpads in line. Was there anything else she told you? Trying to make Mercer look bad in front of Maven, eh? Clever lass. Was there anything else? Then I have an important task for you. I need you to break into Mercer's home and search for anything that could tell us where he's gone. Aye. A gift from the Blackbriars after they kicked the previous family out. A place called Riftweald Manor. He never stays there, just pays for the upkeep on it. Hired some lout by the name of Vold to guard the place. Be careful, lad. This is the last place in Skyrim I'd ever want to send you. Just find a way in, get the information and leave. And you have permission to kill anyone that stands in your way. Better question would be, what did he leave? Mercer took everything. Even all of our plans are gone. Before Mercer took over, Gallus started collecting every bit of material he could on locations the Guild could heist. Museums, keeps, estates, you name it. By the time Mercer took over the Guild, we must have had a few dozen. I don't have a clue. That door is impenetrable. Without 2 keys, it's impossible to open. I have a key, Delvin has a key, and Mercer has a key. That's it. There are no other copies. Good question. I've only set foot inside a few times myself, and that was in Mercer's company. If you can get past his trained watchdog, I think your best bet might be the ramp to the 2nd floor balcony in his backyard. No. It's some sort of crazy contraption Mercer commissioned for quick escapes. I'd wager a well-placed shot at the ramp's mechanism would lower it in a hurry. Careful at Mercer's place. I don't want to... I can't believe this. Huh. That'd be Vault. A real piece of work, that one. Mercer's holding something over his head, keeping him loyal. Talk to Vex. She used to know him very well, if you catch my meaning. Careful at Mercer's place. I don't want to lose anyone else in that madhouse.
I'm relieved Brynjolf has an open mind without that forgotten blood.
I hope he turns up soon. He needs to... I hope he turns up soon. He needs to answer for his betrayal. felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that.
What the?
I always felt a great deal of guilt running Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself. felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. Mara, protect us both. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. Huh? I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcaller Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcrawler Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcrawler Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I always felt a great deal of guilt running from Nightcrawler Temple and leaving my friends to die. I'll never forgive myself for that. I've never admitted this before, but I've more than I care to admit. I'll just leave it at that. I've been enjoying this journey. Huh?
I dare Mercer to come back here. Set one foot in this place, I'll cut it off.
Punished too good for Mercer's rank. I'm gonna crush his skull. The only penalty for his betrayal is death.
Stabbed in the bank.
Need to stay focused in case Frey... I knew you had it in you. After all, finding the stones was no easy feat. Well, I'm not one to welch on a deal, so here's your reward. Hope you put it to good use. I know I have.
Got that I'm reading for your sources, but that last shipment of scuba was some of the best best quality I've
I
seen.
heard Ricky is home to the worst Skyrim.
That pig. Oh, I have info on him. More than you care to know.
Well, if you like, I'll be happy to take over the operation for you. Take the sword.
Vald, good side? I think you have the wrong person. The only thing Vald understands is gold. A man after my own heart. Sure, but he'll ask for a whole lot. I mean, you are asking him to betray Mercer Frey. Your best bet would be to erase his debt with Maven Blackbriar. If you talk to her, she might be able to give you the details. Of course, you could just run him through and take what you need off his corpse. I could care less. While you're in there... Yourself to anything in Frey's manner. I would.